Hi, it's Yoga with Kylie here, and today we're handstanding. And I know some of you out there probably are a little bit afraid of handstands. So just know this practice will give you the option to not hop up if you choose to. So you could just take it as a shoulder stability, core strengthening practice, or if you're happy to go along with me and do the little hops, then we'll have some fun. Grab a block and bring it to the top of your mat. So you want to bring it to the right hand side of your mat. You're going to walk your knees back so that the knees are underneath your hips. You're going to take your left elbow onto the block, bring your right forearm just onto the floor, and then rest your head down. And then start to gently push towards the left so you feel that left side rib cage kind of expand out to the left. And then at the same time, draw the ribs towards the pelvis so you keep that connection to the core. More importantly, you stop yourself from going into flaring of the ribs and a hyperlordosis through the lower back, meaning we're hyperextending the lower back. And then we're just going to take some nice deep full breaths in this position, allowing the lateral line of fascia to open and also the connection of the latissimus dorsi to the humerus, so that's our big muscle on the back that also connects to our arm. That can be a limiting factor for our handstand work, particularly if it's tight, which for a lot of us it is tight. So really feeling the rib cage front to back, side to side, feeling the chest melt and soften towards the earth. One more deep full breath in. And a nice long exhale out. And gently press yourself up. Take your block over to the other side of the mat. This time the right elbow is on the block. Left forearm is just supporting the weight. You're going to ever so slightly push the rib cage towards the right. Let the ribs in. And then really focusing on the breath, expanding all four sides of the rib cage. Tend to be really good at expanding through the front, and particularly the front top portion, but seeing if we can actually push it out to the sides and the back. Good, one more deep full breath. And a nice long exhale. And then push into your left arm, lift yourself up. Sit back on your heels and grab hold of your block. And we're going to squeeze the block. So I want you to bring your palms flat on the block. Make sure the index male knuckle is pressing into the block. Fingers are spread nice and wide. And then I hold the block out in front of you and squeeze it tight so you feel your chest, your pec muscles, and your biceps start to engage. Now knit the front ribs down and in so you're connecting ribs to pelvis. Squeeze your inner thighs, finding the connection to the pelvic floor. And then lengthen the tailbone down towards your heels. Keep all of those actions as you slowly start to take the block up above the head. And then around about here is when you'll want to flare the ribs or maybe stick the tailbone out. So work really hard to draw the ribs in and lengthen the tailbone down. Keep squeezing the block. Your arms will start to get tired and you'll start to sag in the elbows. See if you can keep extending up towards the ceiling. And then pay attention to the breath. Notice if you're holding your breath, can you really expand the rib cage, reach up, squeeze inner thighs, find that drawing into the center line. Good, and then slowly bring the block back down, still squeezing tight. And once it's all the way down, you put the block to one side And come to melting heart or puppy pose, anahatasana. So knees underneath the hips again. Walk the arms forward and the forehead will rest on the floor. Now rather than resting your arms down on the floor, I want you to really extend the arms. Spread the fingers out nice and wide and press down through the index male knuckle again. That space between the thumb and the forefinger, and then really squeeze into the center line as well, as if you're still holding that block in between the arms. Lengthen back through the sitting bones. Net the front ribs in. And again, just finding this expansion through the back of the chest, through the sides of the chest. And every exhale, letting go of tension, but also more importantly, any anxiety or fear that you might have around handstand. We tend to imagine the fallout to be way worse than what it actually is. And that can be what limits us from actually finding that sweet spot of balance. So letting go of those stories that you tell yourself. Good, and then slowly walk your hands back so that they stack underneath your shoulders and tabletop. You're going to turn the hands all the way around so the fingertips point towards your knees. We're going to do cat-cow in this position. So the inhale breath, belly will drop down, sitting bones will lift, chest will come forward. Feel like you're drawing the hands towards your knees. And then exhale, scoop the belly round through the upper back, gaze towards the navel, hug the knees in. Inhale, draw the chest forward, lift the sitting bones. And the exhale, tuck and round, spread the shoulder blades nice and wide on the back. Inhale, heart moves forward. Sitting bones lift high. Exhale, tuck and round, spread the shoulder blades wide, draw the belly in. Inhale, draw the chest forwards. And this time as you exhale, just come to neutral, so that spot between those two actions. Cinch in around the waist, tuck the toes, and then hover your knees just 2 centimeters off the floor. Keep a little micro bend in the elbows. And you can choose to stay here with the knees bent or to step it back to a high plank position. If you're taking the high plank option, bring your legs together to touch, squeeze the inner ankles, squeeze the inner thighs and roll the inseams of the thighs to the sky. You might even like to take a little rock forwards and back so you really start to feel the wrists, the shoulders, the core awakening. Keep that slight micro bend in the elbows. And see if you can squeeze into the center line again. It's really the key when we're upside down is to make ourselves as tight as we can so that we become as light as we can. Good, and then drop your knees down onto the earth. Sit back on your heels again. Turn the backs of the hands together and just lightly press them in. At the same time, draw the elbows down, so stretching the other side of the forearms and the wrists. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen the crown of the head up. And then turn the palms into Anjali Mudra. Take a moment, close down the eyes. Set your own intention for your practice. So really trying to let go of the stories that you tell yourself. Step into that place of courage, letting go of fear. Take a full deep breath in through the nose. And a nice full exhale out the mouth. Gently open the eyes and find your way to downward facing dog. Once you get there, just pedal out the feet. A little bit of movement to open the soles of the feet. And gaze at your hands, and you want your index fingers to be slightly more turned out than you normally would. And then claw the floor with all 10 fingertips. Press down through the index male knuckle and start to push the ground away. So you feel the sides of the waist start to lengthen. Squeeze the thumbs towards the center line, biceps squeezing towards the head. Triceps wrapping to the floor. Sitting bones are lifting high. And the inner thighs are rolling in and back. So feeling as though you're pushing out with the heels and down with your big toe mounds. Deep full breath in. And a nice full exhale out. Lift your heels up nice and high. Ripple yourself forward to the high plank position.
Check that the shoulders are over the wrists, and if they're not, just adjust. Just means your down dog was a little bit short. Keeping the arms straight, scapula press up, draw the shoulder blades towards the spine, squeeze in between the shoulder blades, let the heart melt down, and then press and dome up through the upper back, spread the shoulder blades wide, keep the gaze forward, tuck the chin and roll it back, downward facing dog. Squeeze the thumbs towards the center line. Lift the heels up nice and high, ripple forward, high plank position. Draw the shoulder blades towards the spine. Press and dome up through the upper back, keep the arms straight, gaze forward. Tuck the chin and roll it back, downward facing dog. Lift the heels up nice and high, ripple forward, high plank position. Shoulder blades draw towards the spine. Press and dome up through the upper back. Tuck the chin and roll it all the way back, downward facing dog. Right leg extends to the sky as you inhale. Square the pelvis, press out through the heel. Full deep breath in. And then exhale, draw the knee towards the nose. Shift forward to that scapular press position. Rounded upper back. Foot comes down in between the hands. Drop your back knee to the floor. Press up and bring the hips back slightly so you can grab hold of your left wrist. Reach and extend up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, sink the hips down and slightly forward. Start to lean over to the right. Then inhale, press into the right heel. Draw the hips and the torso back. Exhale, bend and sink to the right again. Inhale, press. Come back to neutral. Exhale, sink and lean. And this time stay there. Really working the right shoulder forward, the arms back behind the head as much as you can. Tailbone lengthens down and forward, and the left buttock squeezes lightly. So opening out, again, the lateral line, but also into the hip flexor. In areas that are commonly tight and can prevent us from finding that beautiful line in our handstand shape. Good, inhale back to the center, and as you exhale, half split position. Ardha Hanuman. Press down through the right heel and try to shorten the leg, drawing it back into the socket. Peel the pinky toe side of the foot back towards your face and pull up on the right thigh. Now take the sitting bones and shine them up towards the sky. Deep breath in. A nice long exhales out. I'm going to play a little game of, can I kick myself in the face with my right foot? So look at your foot. Think of drawing in and up with the right leg. And on the inhale breath, kick. Put it down. Try that again. So you really got to connect deep down into the belly towards the psoas. Gaze at the foot, and on the inhale, kick. Good. Place it down. One more time. Take a breath and kick. Place the heel down, shift the weight forward, come to high plank position. Spin the biceps forward, shift to the tips of the toes, hug the shoulders to the sockets, draw the center of the chest forward. Lowering down for 10 counts. If you need to modify, drop the knees. Otherwise, bend the elbows, hug them to the sides of the waist for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once you get all the way down to your belly, reach the arms out in front of you and bring your forehead to the floor. We're going to do a handstand on our belly. Squeeze the legs, push the tops of the feet into the floor and pull up on the knees. Now scoop the tailbone all the way to the floor. You'll feel the belly lifts away from the floor. Now suck the belly in. Float your head up 2 centimeters and then see if you can float the arms up as well. Try not to let the belly touch the floor or the feet lift away from the floor. So if I was in the room with you, I could slide my hands underneath your belly. Good, release down with control. Take the hands, interlace them on your lower back. Draw the shoulder blades towards the spine. Press your pubic bone into the floor. And as you inhale, lift the chest and lift your feet. Roll the inseams of the thighs to the sky. Keep extending the legs, pulling up on the thighs. One more full breath, lift a little bit higher. And then exhale, release down with control. Place the hands underneath your elbows, tuck the toes, firm up the legs, lift the belly. Inhale to high plank. Press back, down dog as you exhale. Deep full breath in, press the ground away. And a nice long exhale out. Left leg rises as you inhale. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose, find that scapular press position. Place the foot down in between the hands, drop your back knee to the floor. Sweep the arms up, catch hold of the right wrist. Reach and extend towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, sink the hips down and forward and lean to the left. Inhale, press into the left heel, bring yourself back. Exhale, sink and lean to the left. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, sink and lean and stay this time. Remembering those actions of drawing the left heel back underneath you. Little squeeze to the right buttock. Tailbone lengthening down and forward. Good, inhale breath, come back to neutral. And as you exhale, draw the hips back and up. Sitting bones shine to the sky. Foot flexes, pull up on the left thigh. Now our little game of can I kick myself in the face? Look at the foot, draw the belly in and up. And as you inhale, kick. Lower it down. Good, take your breath. Exhale completely. And then inhale, kick. Lower it down. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale completely. And inhale, draw it up. Lower the foot down, transfer the weight, step back, high plank position. Shift forward to the tips of the toes, center of the chest moves forward, lowering down for 10, 9, 8, squeeze feet to hands, hands to feet, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once you get to the floor, arms reach forward, forehead to the floor. Squeeze the inner thighs, press the tops of the feet down. Scoot the tailbone to the floor and lift your belly all the way away from the floor. Float your head and then float the arms. Remembering the belly is not touching the floor and the feet have not lifted away from the floor. Now squeeze into the midline as much as you can. Squeeze the butt, scoot the tailbone towards the floor. Good, exhale, release down. Interlace the hands, different pinky finger in front this time. Shoulder blades draw towards the spine, pubic bone presses down. Inhale, lift the chest and lift your feet. Lengthen the fronts of the thighs by extending the legs back behind you. Take one more breath in, lift a little higher. Then exhale, release down. Place the hands underneath the elbows, tuck the toes, firm up the legs. Press up, high plank as you inhale. Press back, down dog as you exhale. Deep full breath in. A nice long exhale out. Flowing through that sequence now. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, step it in between the hands. Drop the back knee to the floor. Sweep the arms up, catch the wrist as you inhale. Exhale, sink and lean over towards the right. Inhale back to the center and exhale, half split. Inhale, kick yourself in the face. Exhale, transition to high plank. Shift forward to the tips of the toes, this time lower to chaturanga as you exhale. Keep spinning the biceps forward. Press back up, high plank position. Press back, downward facing dog. Left leg rises, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot down in between the hands. Back knee to the floor, inhale, reach up. And exhale, lean. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, hands down, step back. to half split. Inhale, kick yourself. Exhale, transition, high plank position. Shift forward to the tips of the toes. Lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, back up to high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep full breath in. Long exhale out. One more time. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose, step it in between the hands. Rise up, catch the wrist as you inhale. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, half split. Inhale, kick yourself. And exhale, high plank position, spin the biceps forward. Exhale, lower to chaturanga, squeeze feet to hands, hands to feet. Inhale to high plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, reach up, catch the wrist. And exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, half split, Ardha Hanuman. Inhale, kick yourself. Exhale, transition, high plank. Shift forward to the tips of the toes. And exhale to chaturanga. Press back up, high plank. Press back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And a full exhale out. Good, deep breath in. Full exhale out. Right leg rises as you inhale. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose, step the foot between the hands. And we're going to play a little game of dancing monkey. So I want you to think of this rounded upper back, that scapular press position, and really throwing the pelvis in the air. So be a little bit playful with it. We're going to change the legs 4 times to land on our right foot again. So you're going to bend the knees, and off you go. Switch, change, land left. Bend, switch, change, land right. Switch, change, land left. Last one, switch, change, land right. Rise up to crescent warrior. Let's take a moment. Catch the breath. Good, hands down. Fingertips to the floor. Keep the right knee bent. Lift your left leg up. Think of a modified standing split to warrior 3. So the torso is going to stay on the right thigh. And I'm really thinking about lifting from the hamstring and the glute of this leg. So really, you can even take that hand up and check out whether those muscles are really firing for you. Keep those muscles firing. Place your hands down on the floor. Press the ground away and hop back. 3-legged down dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot down in between the hands. So again, setting up for our dancing monkey. Spread the shoulder blades wide. Bend both knees. And off you go. Hop, change. Hop, change. Hop, change. Hop, change. Press into the left heel and rise to crescent warrior. Keep thinking of scissoring the thighs, moving the right hip forward, left hip back, and connecting the ribs to the pelvis again. Good, fingertips to the floor, modified warrior 3 or standing splits. Remember, we're really focusing on what this back leg, this top leg is doing. So reach around, give it a good feel, make sure it's engaged. Then using this leg to help bring us back to 3-legged down dog. Hands down, hop it back, 3-legged down dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose, step it in between the hands. Bend both knees, hop, change. Throw the pelvis in the air. Hop, change. And again, hop, change. And again, hop, change. Good, rise up, crescent warrior. Deep full breath in. Reach up through the fingertips. Exhale. Modified warrior 3. Place the hands down. Press the scapula wide and hop it back. Three-legged down dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, step it forward. Press down through the hands and hop change. Hop change. Throw the pelvis. Throw the pelvis. Good. Inhale, rise up. Catch your breath, scissor the thighs, lengthen tailbone. Full breath in. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Engage your right leg. Place the hands down, spread the shoulder blades wide and hop it back. Three-legged down dog. Place the foot down. Deep, full breath in. Nice long exhale out. Take your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Turn the toes out. Walk your hands back and sit your hips down. Malasana. Prayer squat. You need to be a little bit higher, that's okay. If you can easily sit down like this, then sit up a little bit higher. Make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more work for the legs, for the muscles, so we're not just sitting into the joints. Press the outer edges of your feet to the floor, lift the insteps of the feet, and then take the arms above the head. Keep the palms facing one another and start to pump the fists. Now, as we pump the fists, the hands are going to want to turn to face forward because that's easier. I want you to avoid that. So really keep spiraling the pinky fingers in. Extend up through the elbows. Keep that lift through the pelvic floor. Try to keep breathing calmly. Notice if your arms have started to get floppy. Can you keep the palms facing one another? Good, and then release. Toe heel your feet to hip distance apart. Slide your hands underneath from the front. And then pull the elbows in towards the shins. Padahastasana. Keep the torso on the thighs. Press out with the heels. Feel the sitting bones start to spread wide. And then start to shine them up to the sky. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Elbows pull in towards the shins. Fronts of the thighs pull up. Should be a nice little release after that fist pumping. Good, and then release. And slowly walk your hands back out. Downward facing dog. Turn your heels in and your toes out. Gaze forward at your hands, bend your knees, sit your hips on the heels. And then as you inhale, shift it forward to a high plank, rounded upper back. So that's scapular press position. And then sit back towards the heels, bend the knees. Shift forward, high plank. Exhale, sit back towards the feet. Inhale. Good. Sit back towards the heels. This time we're going to take it into a little spring, a little frog hop. So pull the knees on the outsides of the body, the heels to the butt, and start to spring a few times. You want about 4 or 5. Keeping the arms nice and straight. And you're going to eventually end up with your feet outside your hands. Malasana, prayer squat again. Good, now lower your hips to the floor. Come to Navasana. Squeeze the inner thighs, lift the center of the chest. If you need to modify, you can hold on to the backs of the thighs. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower to Ardha Navasana. Now squeeze into the center line. Keep your lower back on the floor. Take your arms and reach them forward as much as you can. Option 1, stay here like this. Option 2, start to rock. Now as you rock, make sure that the butt is still squeezing. The inner thighs are still hugging in tight. The big toes are squeezing. Basically everything is tight. Tighter you are, the lighter you are. The more you can learn to squeeze into the midline, the easier your handstand will be. Good, and then relax. Take a full breath in through the nose. Nice long exhale, maybe give your legs a little wiggle. Nice full breath in. And a nice long exhale to let it all go. Inhale. And exhale. Good, hug your knees in towards you. Start to rock up and down. You're going to come back to your malasana. So reaching the arms forward, you pull the heels in close to your butt. Use the momentum of the arms reaching forward to pull you back into this position. Then bring the fingertips to the floor, toe heel the feet into touch. As you inhale, reverse the swan dive, sweeping the arms out and up. Catch hold of the left wrist, press the heels apart. Deep breath in. And exhale to lean over towards the right. Slide the hips to the left. Squeeze the buttocks. Press the feet apart so the heels are wanting to push to the outer edges of the mat. Good, inhale back to the center. Switch the grip. And as you exhale, lean the other way. Slide the hips to the right. Inhale back to the center, flex the palms, rise up on your tippy toes, finding your handstand shape on the toes. Hug into the center line again. So hug inner thighs, inner ankles, big toe mounds pressing firmly. Hug the biceps towards the head, press up through the heels of the hands. Knit the ribs down and in, and lengthen the tailbone down. Exhale, breath, swan dive over the legs, heart leading the way. Take a breath in, bring the hands to the shins, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, hands to the floor. We're going to do our jump back to Chaturanga, but rather than starting here with my weight back towards the heels of the hands and then shooting the legs back, what I want you to think of doing is leaning so far forward that you almost feel like you're going to face plant on the floor, and then from there, the legs are going to shoot back. Chaturanga, inhale to up dog, exhale to down dog. So we're starting to find that connection to the back line of the body, that idea of almost shalabhasana, if you like, to help train us towards a press handstand one day. Bring your heels together, your toes out, gaze forward at your hands, bend the knees and start to frog hop again. So be playful with this. You can even make sound effects if that helps. Sometimes I do, ribbit. If you manage to get here and hold it, then you can play with taking the feet out and in, keeping the hips stacked over the shoulders. Then eventually rolling yourself down into Malasana again. Drop the hips to the floor. Navasana, boat pose, lift the center of the chest. Lower down to Ardha Navasana. Now hug into the center line, squeeze tight, reach forward, and then rock if you choose to, or stay still. If it gets too much, please rest your upper back on the floor, maybe your feet on the floor. Take it at your own level. Took me ages to be able to do these, so don't think that because you can't do them in this video that you'll never be able to do them. Good, another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good thing is, when you release, it feels so good. And if you think about all those things that you hold on to in your life, whether it be possessions or thoughts, beliefs, conversations, imagine how good it would feel to let it all go.